again to my kitchen. Today I'm doing something that I didn't grow up eating, and I just went to Cabo San Lucas and I had so much of this. And my kids, my youngest son, he loves this stuff. It's called Churros, but in Portuguese it's Farturas de FEIRA. We never ate this stuff when we were kids, but when I came to the United States, once I tried, I was hooked. I loved it. So anyway, so that's what we're gonna do today. Churros or Farturas de FEIRA. In here I have 1 cup of milk. Let me show you what I have. 1 cup of milk. I have 6 large eggs, 2 cups of flour, 1 cube or 1/4 cup of butter. The recipe that I found was for unsalted butter, but this one is salted. So I reduced a little bit in the salt. 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then 1 teaspoon, half a teaspoon of salt, because my butter has already the salt. And I'm gonna do it in 1 pot. So in this pot, I'm gonna put my milk and my butter. And I'm gonna let this melt. And then we go from there. Okay, my milk has come to a boil. I'm gonna put my sugar, my salt, and then I'm gonna add all the flour. And I'm gonna mix all this. And I'm gonna mix. And it's gonna be like this. It's gonna mix, and you keep over the stove, and what we're doing is we're cooking that flour. And just keep mixing until you don't see no more flour. And the bottom of the pan stays clean. When you see it start creating a film at the bottom of the pan, then you know this is done. It doesn't take no time. Turn off the stove, and here it is. This is how I'm gonna let this cool, and then we're gonna add the eggs. Okay, now I'm gonna put the mixture in my mixer. And we're gonna mix the eggs. This is what we call a pot of choux, or we do cream puffs. It's kind of the same idea. So I'm gonna mix this just to kind of help it cool a little bit and fluff up that dough. And then I'm gonna start mixing 1 egg at a time. And this is what you want. You want a soft batter or dough. Yeah, so when I was in Cabo San Lucas, every day, 4 o'clock, they would bring this cart and they would make these churros fresh. They were so good. And this is a quick, easy dessert you can do. And you can do this and put it in a freezer. And then heat them up or fry them again because we're gonna fry this. And this is what you want. A mixture like that. Okay friends, I have my pastry bag and I have a large star tip and I'm gonna put it at the bottom. If you don't have that, don't worry about it. You just won't make them those little grooves that the churros have. And I'm gonna put it inside of a cup so that way my filling stays in there and I don't make a mess in my bag. And I'm just gonna pour the mixture into the pastry bag. But anyway, so you can make this, freeze it, and then when you have company or you want something, just warm it up in the oven or in the air fryer. We have those air fryers. I do a lot of stuff in my air fryer. So, and I have my oil warming up, and it needs to be at least 300 degrees because you want hot oil. I'm gonna get my thermometer. Let's see, my candy thermometer and see how hot it is. Like I said, it needs to be, it's not done yet. We'll wait a little bit more. Meanwhile, we can mix the sugar with the cinnamon. And then we roll them when they're hot. We roll the churros in the cinnamon and sugar. And have this ready, because you want to do when it's still hot. The other thing, you do this and you melt some chocolate with a little bit of cream and you dip this in the chocolate. It's so delicious. There's so many ways. You can make a fancy dessert or just a plain dessert. Okay, I'm gonna wait for my oil and then I'll come back. Okay, my oil is at 325 and you want to make long strips however you want it and then cut it. You can make whatever designs you want. Show. Okay, friends. There's one way to do it too, and making them smaller, more of a bite size. I find that with the scissors is better than with the knife. And don't crowd the pan, because if you crowd the pan, they're not gonna fry. They're going to steam instead of frying. You want them crisp. I made these big ones. I want now some smaller ones. So I'm gonna mix them. I have my temperature on my stove on low because if you have it too high, they're gonna cook too fast and they're not gonna get crispy. They're gonna get color and then it might not be cooked inside too. So, and the other thing is, when you take them, don't stack them. I was stacking them and they were getting soggy. So you want to kind of put it in a sheet, like cookie sheet like this, with a rack and let them stay like this. Otherwise, if they're warm, they will get soggy. And that's what you want. So I'm gonna continue doing this, and I'll show you when they're all done. The other thing is, if you do this in a frying pan in a lower pot, it makes it easy if you do it in a tall pan. I should have done that, because with this, you have to go down, and you can't shape them the way you want it, because it might splatter, and you don't want to get burned. Here, friends, here it is, my churros, or Farturas, the FEIRA. These I put with sugar, cinnamon and sugar, because we're gonna eat these. But if you're gonna put them in a freezer and freeze them, don't put the sugar. Leave them like this. I'm gonna let them air dry a little bit here, and then I'm gonna bag them when they cool in a Ziploc bag, and put them in a freezer. So if anybody wants it, they can just take it and put it in an air fryer, and then sugar as they eat it. So that's one way of making them. Like I said, the other thing is, try to do it in a smaller pot, not as high. It makes it easy to shape them, especially if you make them like this. This is more like a 2-bite size. Or if you even want to make smaller for appetizers, you make this and then roll it in sugar, and then you can get some chocolate ganache, and that way, or chocolate syrup sauce, and you can dip it. Delicious, and makes an easy appetizer. Can be done outside with the kids. Kids love doing stuff like this. Of course, they can't fry it, but anyway. But this is one way of fulfilling those cravings that when you were growing up, if you were brought up eating these churros when you were kids. I know my kids, whenever we went to the fair, they wanted churros, and that smell goes far away. When you smell that cinnamon, you gotta have some. So anyway, and I made this because it just brought me back from Cabo. We were just in Cabo a couple weeks ago, and like I said, 4 o'clock, they had the cart with the churros. I was there most of the time, not all the time. And it's an easy recipe to make. And you can plan it ahead, or you can make it as your guests are sitting. They can help you out. Somebody's frying, somebody's sugaring. It's one way of getting your guests involved doing things when you have people over. And anyway, give it a try, this recipe. Tell me if you like it. Subscribe. Press the bell so you're notified when I put videos out. I kind of went on vacation. I kind of just getting back to the groove, so give me some time. I haven't put as many videos, but I'm also in the process of translating all my recipes into Portuguese. So those people that want the recipe, I'm sorry you can't understand what I'm saying, but if you have the recipe and you're watching me, you should be able to follow the recipe and know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm in the process of translating all my videos, all my recipes, let's put it, into Portuguese. Not the video, the recipe. I'm translating the recipe to Portuguese. So I'm kind of 3/4 of the way, so hopefully I can get more time, and that takes all time. Takes a lot of time. So, but I want to reach out to as many people as I can and help out as many people as I can to bring memories of their loved ones, of things that when they were kids. So I'll do what I can to reach out. But I need you to subscribe. I need you to like my videos. We need to make these videos to go far, and I can't do that alone. I need you people over there. So anyway, until next time, let's get cooking. Have a good day.